Hey y'all, this is TCA Gaming, and in this video I'm going to show you guys how to submit to PSA. Now, I've done videos like this in the past, however, some things have updated, and so I wanted to go ahead and do another video showing you the process of how to submit to PSA if you've never submitted there. It's fairly straightforward, but you can also get a $25 off coupon if you follow the link that I have down in the description. It's a little ways down. It's going to be under the discount codes, but it is TCA25. Put that in at checkout, and it should give you $25 off your first submission. Now, if you follow the link, it'll take you to this page right here. It's pretty simple. New PSA customers get up to $25 off. Hit submit now. You're going to hit start. You're going to hit new submission online. This isn't like an on-site type deal. Typically, you're going to submit under trading cards for Pokemon. You could do this for Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic the Gathering. Now, if you have something that's larger, then that would be oversized. You've got coins and pins, you've got packs. Sometimes I do packs, and I don't really mess around with any of this other stuff. But within Pokemon, you could have any of these first four. What I'm going to show you today is trading cards. Select and continue. Now, we're also going to be grading the cards, so we want the condition to show, and they're also going to, a part of that is authentication. So select and continue. Now, if you look right here, the cheapest they have is $24.99, and that's going to be for cards that are valued max $500. This is individual, and there's a 45 business day turnaround time. You can save some money though if you join. There's a join now button, and you can see right here the Collectors Club membership for 150 bucks a year. Bulk grading drops down to $14.99. So if you're going to submit, it's either 10 or 25 cards, at a time, then you're automatically going to save up to $10 per card. It does lower the value, if I remember correctly, on how much the card can be worth. However, most of the cards are going to fall in that range, especially if you're submitting bulk. And if you jump up to $199, it's still the same bulk grading price, but for places like Fanatics Live, you can save automatically there. You can see the bump went from 60 bucks to 125. So if you're already spending on Fanatics Live, then that could be a way that you're going to get more than that $50 difference between standard and premium. And then it looks like you get a few other things in here. Typically what I look at though is how much money you're going to save with the bulk grading. And it's almost always worth it to go with the membership so that you can get the bulk grading. However, for this submission, I'm not going to be doing that because this is a test account that I can use to show you guys how to submit. It's not actually my account that I'm logged into. Now, Pokemon is 1980 to present, so select and continue. Now, this used to be the tricky part. What you want to do is to search for each item. There's going to be many, like for this, for example, this very first card is a Venusaur. There's going to be several different variations. I know just from experience that, here, I'm going to show you guys all the cards. Just from experience that it's in there as Pokemon game for base set. You got Venusaur, there's a Shadowless Blastoise, this is an Error Diglett, there's an Error Red Cheeks Pikachu, got a Metal Mew, got Quantity 3 Mew EX, and then we have a few Surging Sparks cards. So we're going to go through a few different hiccups that you may run into when you're trying to submit cards that either of quantity, there's a different variation, there's an error, or even with those last cards where they might not even be in the system yet. So let me pull Chrome back up. This is just 10 cards that we're going to go through. So for Venusaur, I don't know why, but they really like having the year. So, and then I know Pokemon game is going to be for like base set, but Venusaur, let's see if anything pops up for this. Yeah, there we go. So that's going to automatically pull it up. Typically, if you put the number and the name of the card, you're going to be pretty much set for finding it. But with cards like Venusaur, just from the base set, you can see right there, Holo first edition, Holo Shadowless, base set 1999-2000. Then you've got the Japanese versions as well. And this says incomplete Holo error, so you even got some of that stuff going on. But this is going to pull up random stuff like why is Electabuzz pulling up for Venusaur? I don't know why it is, but it is. So select the card that you want, the declared value. I say typically you want to err on the side of caution to go a little bit higher than what you think the value might be. And if you're unsure, usually if you put in a couple $100 on the bulk tier, you're going to be okay. It's going to add in value to how much you're charged for shipping. But the best way to find out the value is go to a place like eBay or maybe even TCG Player, especially if they're raw, and look up the value. Like this is going to, I think this might get a 5 or 6, So I'm putting in the value about $100, which I think is a little bit high for that condition grade. All right, then you hit save. You can also hit enter if I remember correctly. Next card. So we're going to do 1999 Pokemon game again. and this time put in Blastoise, but we're going to have a different variation. This is the shadowless version, so I got to go down here and make sure I get the shadowless variation, not just the regular. And then we'll put $100 in here again, because again, it's not that great of condition. All right, so again, $19.99 Pokemon game. I'm going to do Diglett, and let's see if the error pops up. There's shadowless, first edition, regular, $19.99 2000. This is the fighting symbol error. So it's not in great condition. It's probably worth 20 bucks. Again, another base set card. If you ever submit base set, you know to put in $19.99 Pokemon game. I'm going to put in Pikachu, and I'm going to just put in red, see if it actually narrows it down to the red cheeks error. There it is. So we have the red cheeks, and this is also a shadowless version. It's not the first edition one, which would be down here, or the E3, or the E3 red cheeks, or anything like that. It's just the red cheeks shadowless unlimited, and we'll just put 50 bucks in here. All right, so now we're going to do something a little bit more modern. We've got a Mew EX. Let me see. The number is 205. Let's see if that can help us out. So there's the hyper rare. French, Dutch, Spanish, Italian, ultra premium collection. That seems about right. It doesn't say metal on it, but I'm pretty sure that's the one that we want. The good thing about this is if you mess up, typically PSA will catch it. All right, we'll just put 30 bucks in there. If it gets to 10, it might do a little bit better. Now this one it's another Mew EX. But this is going to be the number 53. So let's see if that will narrow it down. And I'm using the number in the bottom left corner here. Got to make sure it's the English, and it's the very first thing that pops up. So that was super simple. I have quantity 3. So this is the first time we've had to change that, but make sure you put 3 right there. And we're going to say they're worth about 40 bucks a piece. So I'm going to say 120. So this is a little bit different. If you submit through CGC, you just put the one value. Here you got to put the total value, and it puts it in the parentheses. So I'm saying they're worth 40 bucks a piece times 3. It's 120. Raw, this is like a $10 card, but because I'm submitting it, I believe it's probably going to get a 10, maybe, or it's got a shot at a 10. So I'm giving it a boost in value. All right, so these are from the new Surging Spark set that has yet to release as of when I'm recording this video on the 5th. It releases in 3 days. So when I put this in, Milotic EX237, nothing should come up unless, look at that, somebody has already submitted, so we don't even have to worry about it. What I was going to show you guys, if for whatever reason your card does not come up when you go to submit it, then you can just manually enter it. You can see it right there. It says add it manually. And when you add a card manually, here, let me show you what it looks like. It just enters in whatever you put in there, and it'll keep that. And the good thing about this is from a mainstream set. Don't worry yourself if you can't find a card that's from a set that has been released or is going to be released. So say you attended a Surging Sparks pre-release a week and a half ago, and you got this card, but it's not in the PSA system yet. Go ahead and submit it. Add it manually. I guarantee you they're going to take care of it. It'll probably be in their system by the time they're entering it in, and they're going to be like, okay, this is just brand new. We'll get it put in there. That's not a problem at all. And then say the value. I'm not even sure the value of this card right now, but you can see that this one's going to come in there manually. It's going to look a little bit different. Doesn't have a picture, and when it prints out, it's going to be a little bit different as well. All right, next up we have the Pikachu EX, and it should be in here if Milotic is. So 057, Surging Sparks, French, Italian. There is English. English is going to be the end. And I don't know, we'll say 25 bucks. Okay, so now we have 10 cards submitted. So now what do we do? So we're going to proceed to checkout, because we want to see if this code works. All right, shipping and billing. Purchase a prepaid label. I like to ship on my own. I'm gonna recommend this. They recommend doing it that other way, but I'm gonna say ship on your own. You can go to the post office and ship it there, but I typically use Pirate Ship. Pirate Ship, they give you the same discounts, pretty much the same ones you get on eBay. It's really cheap, really easy. You can send it to the vault if you want to, and that actually they're partnered with eBay, so you can have the stuff listed on there. I like having my stuff shipped back to me. You put your return address in here, your phone number, insurance, your payment method, all the stuff that you would typically do. And then for the promo code, TCA25, let's see if it works. There we go. So it took $25 off, but you can see how it adds up. $24.99. There was 10 items. That's $250. Minus the $25 plus $30 shipping, you have $254.89. Once you fill in your phone number and your return shipping method, your payment method, all that good stuff, this will become blue, and you can hit review order, and you'll send it through. Okay. Once you've sent an order through, now what do? So let me go ahead and click out of Google Chrome. Okay, so here is my account, and what I did was I logged out of the test account and logged into one of my accounts so you guys could kind of see what it's going to look like. Once you submit your order, where it says review order and you submit it, you're going to get some forms to print out. You can see right here, the first page is going to be a submission ID label. What you'll do here is you'll print this out, you'll cut it out. That'll go on the outside of the package. I'm going to show you where that goes here in a minute. And then after this, I'm not going to show you everything, but there's going to be 3 copies of your PSA submission. It's going to have your information on it, and it's going to have the order that you put in. You're going to sign the first copy. The second copy will be printed. It's going to be included in the package with the first copy. So inside, you're going to have the first and second copy. And then the third copy is going to be for your records. I don't ever print that. There's no need to waste that paper. You can have access to it from your account anytime you want. Also on that page, it's going to give you the address to ship to. It's going to be this right here, See You Receiving. That's going to be like the name line. Then you have P.O. Box 6180. And then you have Newport Beach, California, 92658. That's going to be on that page. You don't have to find where I'm at right now with the shipping addresses. They'll give that to you, and you'll ship it directly to them. That's for, I believe, USPS. But you can see right here, if you use UPS, FedEx, or DHL, especially for more expensive packages that you're having overnighted, then there is a separate address for that. Now, before you get to the whole shipping address part, you've got to package it so you know how much it weighs. I typically buy my labels from Pirate Ship. I think I mentioned that before when we were going through the process of where you ship your own. You can do the prepaid thing if you want to. However, I like to personally package and ship mine, so I'm going to show you guys how I do that. Let me shut down the Chrome. So for an order where you've got like 50 or less cards, I use these little corrugated boxes. I mean, they're really nice, very protective. I've shown you videos before where I use padded flat rate envelopes. You can do a couple hundred cards, something like that in one of those, especially one of these boxes. But this is really all you need. This is a 7 by 5 by 2. But for these cards to go in there, you don't want to send them in loose like this. You actually want to put them in semi-rigids. And you just put them in there like this. And you want to make sure you keep them in the order that they are on your form. And typically they're going to be in the order that you put them in. So this is the order that I put them in on the form. Now if you have different games or different companies, like sometimes Topps and regular Pokemon cards that are printed through Nintendo or a little bit different, they'll be separated out. If you had Yu-Gi-Oh with Pokemon, they might separate those out. So make sure you put them in the order that they want you to have them put in. Check your form on your printouts. Like I said, you're going to have a copy. There's going to be 2 copies for PSA and 1 for yourself. I typically don't print the one for myself, but you can see I've got them in there nice and neat. And since it's only 10 cards, I would go ahead and use like another team bag that you can stick in there. These are all supplies that you can find on eBay. A lot of times people can't find the stuff because they don't know the technical terms. The big plastic is, well, the tiny little sleeve like this is a penny sleeve. You can find these. They're fairly cheap. These right here, these are semi-rigids. You can get whatever brand you want. These are CGC branded, ironically. But some of those were Palms Off Gaming. I try to save anything that comes in like that instead of throwing it away because it all adds up. But there's several different types. And then this big bag that I put over, this is a team bag. It's actually a graded card team bag. It's meant for, it can hold 2 graded cards from PSA, or actually it might be able to hold 3. But it's a little bit larger, and it just kind of keeps these nice and neat together. And now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to stick it in a layer of bubble protection. This is just a poly mailer. It's a 6 by 9. But I like this size because I can stick it all the way down in there, and then I can actually just roll it in half. Well, I'm going to roll it a little bit more than that. I like rolling them like this because that's going to fit nice and neat. I've got an extra playmat right here because the blue one really wasn't working that great. I'm going to pull this up just a little bit so you guys can kind of see how this fits in here nice and neat. So this is one of those corrugated boxes I was telling you about, but this will fit in there and it'll hold itself. But if something comes in to puncture this box on either side, it's still got room to move. if it needs to, but it's not going to be rattling around in there. And you can also put your paperwork in there, your first and second copy. Then you'd close it up, put a little piece of tape right here, and you'd put your label right on the top. And then if you guys remember that barcode that you're supposed to cut out that's on the first page, you can stick that on one of these sides. You might be able to stick it on the same side as the label itself, because I believe it takes up about this much room, and then you have room. But that way you've got everything. It's just a nice, neat package. This is how I typically package the stuff that I send out to customers, and it's the same way I send stuff out that is my own that I'm getting graded. But this is only 10 cards. You could probably do up to 50 cards this same way. And if you wanted to go with more, then just get a bigger box. That's really that's the only thing that's really going to be changing. And I'm sure there are other ways that you can save money and do this a little bit cheaper, but you're looking at maybe $1.50 worth of supplies right here. Doing it this way, well, maybe with the semi-rigids a little bit more, but that's going to depend on how many cards you got. And it's going to be well protected. If you don't have insurance, make sure you get your own insurance, because you have to insure it on the way to PSA, and it will be rejected, I believe, if it is too far damaged. So you will need your own insurance if it's damaged on the way there. But once it gets in their hands, it's fully covered. You're paying for that insurance and the return shipping as it is, but if it's damaged while it's there or on its way back, then that's something that you would contact PSA about, and they should take care of you. I've had cards that have been graded damaged in the mail, and when I get them back, I just let them know. Sometimes they can just reholder the things. They'll send you labels, and it's a little bit of a process. Things happen, but you are covered. So if you guys have any questions about this process, please feel free to ask. You're welcome to send me questions to my email right here at the top of the screen. It's the top middle, #1PokemonCollector@gmail.com. As always, appreciate everyone who took the time to watch the video, and I'll see you guys in another one.